Hi, welcome to SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comment section. Please like and share the video as well. Going to be talking about NXT Takeover Chicago here. Give my predictions on the card. For me, I think this is a bit of an underrated card, and perhaps you can look at perhaps some of the matches and feel maybe it's not going to be the most exciting card ever. I don't think it's going to be as good as New Orleans, if I'm honest, but I do feel that there's a couple of underrated matches here that could potentially steal the show. I think there's a couple of matches that have had some very good build. I've particularly enjoyed the Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano build. Of course, it's been almost built for over a year, really, at this point here. And I like the build for the Ricochet and Velveteen Dream as well. But looking into the matches, I'm going to start one of the real underrated matches that I think could actually steal the show. The NXT Tag Team Championship match, the Undisputed Era, which is going to feature Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly against Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's the first time that Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch have had really that sort of feeling of being on a big stage like this at a takeover and have that sort of time in the match where they could probably perhaps steal the show. And I think with them, Strong and Riley, they can really put on a stellar tag team match here. I think it's going to be one for the ages. This almost has a feeling for me like a revival DIY situation. I think it's really got that sort of potential looking at this tag team title match. But looking as a result, I can't see anything past the Undisputed Era retaining the belts here. I don't see the championships changing hands. Strong has only recently come into the group. Him and Riley, I feel it's their first proper defences of tag team championships here. I could be wrong on that, but for me, it's definitely their first, and I think that they're definitely going to walk away here with the W. I'll look next to the Women's Championship, Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross, and this, for me, feels sort of thrown together. The rivalry has been Baszler with Dakota Kai, but Nikki Cross now has come in as almost the saviour for Dakota Kai here. It feels to me that Nikki Cross is just here to put Baszler over. I don't see any other way for this other than Baszler coming with more credibility out of it. I mean, she's, again, only recently won the belt, so I don't see her losing it so soon. I feel that Baszler here could be a real long-term women's champion at NXT, and I think Nikki Cross is going to be just the first cross or perhaps even tick that goes on this checklist for Shayna Baszler as she goes through the NXT women's division. Next, we will look at the Ricochet versus the Velveteen Dream. Like I say, one match that I'm looking forward to, storyline-wise, Velveteen Dream seems to go well against anybody. It seems that there's the real star power with Velveteen Dream is he can have a rivalry with any superstar on NXT, and it's a match you want to see. I'm looking forward to seeing how the ring attire is going to look, because he said had a special look for every rival he's had. I particularly enjoyed his rivalry with Aleister Black last year. I thought that was incredible. I feel this is on a similar scale here. Two very different styles. When you look at Ricochet, the high-flying Ricochet, and of course that stunt he did where the flip over the top rope to land on his feet in the entranceway was absolutely incredible. I think it's going to be a great match, this one. It seems to me as well, Velveteen Dream does not need to win to always be over, but the storyline seems to be anything you can do, I can do better, which makes you wonder that maybe could we get Velveteen Dream score an upset here? Could this be the first of a couple of matches? I think if there's a couple of matches, I could see an upset here. I could see Velveteen Dream winning. But with Ricochet being in on NXT, of course, this is his first singles match at a TakeOver. I'm going to put my prediction on Ricochet to win, because I don't think the Dream needs the victory to remain over. I think it's more harmful here if Ricochet was to lose of the two. So for me, Ricochet has to go over. Next, we'll look at the NXT Championship. Aleister Black defending against Lars Sullivan. Now, to be honest with you, I said before that by the summertime, Lars Sullivan would be NXT champion. I felt by the Brooklyn card, he would hold the belt. Now, there is still a possibility here, because of course he's 8 in the match, but I really kind of feel now that it's Aleister Black's first defence. I don't see him dropping the belt so quickly, and I don't see there being a rematch either. The match seems to be built here that the bigger guy is not going to have the finishing move done on him. Like the Fade to Black will not hit Lars Sullivan. He will overcome it. It's almost as if we have like a WrestleMania 3 here, where Hogan, can he slam Andre the Giant? If he hits the slam, he gets the win. So in this case, if Black hits the Fade to Black, which of course he's going to in this match, I feel he'll pick up the W. I feel as well that EC3 is not on this card, and I'm starting to wonder where he fits in NXT at this point, and I feel personally that maybe Lars Sullivan could be the stepping stone here for Aleister Black to then go into a feud with EC3 going into the Brooklyn pay-per-view. So I'm going to make a bold prediction here, and I said a long time ago Lars Sullivan would be the guy to pick the belt off of Aleister Black. and that was before Black was the champion. But now the match is actually coming around. I think Aleister Black will pick up the win here, and I can see him going on against EC3 at the next takeover. Last but certainly not least, the main event, which should have been a last man standing match, but due to the main roster and Money in the Bank, is now a Chicago street fight. I imagine this perhaps is going to be the stipulation for a match that can give these guys to still be able to do the finish they wanted to do if they'd done a last man standing match. So it's Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano in this year-long feud. It started at Chicago last year. It's Chicago 2 now. Will the feud end here? I'm not so sure. I want the trilogy. I've thoroughly enjoyed the build of this. I want to see it go to a third match. So I'm going to go for a Ciampa victory as my prediction. What I would say, though, on a side of note, instead of a Chicago street fight, and I know it's because they're in Chicago, I personally would have preferred to seen an ambulance match. And the reason I say that is because we've seen Gargano be taken away in an ambulance via Ciampa before. There's been sort of threats made by these guys in the build-up that they were going to send each other away in an ambulance. I think that it would have been a good way, but maybe, just maybe, that could be the actual final match that we see between the two of them if it does go on for a trilogy. So I'm going to make that as a prediction as well. So we're going to go for a Ciampa win, and I think we're going to get an ambulance match at Brooklyn Takeover when that happens later before SummerSlam. So those are my predictions there for you for NXT. Do you like my predictions? Do you agree? Let me know in the comments below right now. Let me know your predictions as well in the comments below. Please give this a like and a share as well. Word of mouth does go a long way, spreading the word of SCW. Like I say, Money in the Bank. You can check out those predictions now as well. This is me here on SCW. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.